Well, this is Shred Ninja and Victor with our look back at the Watchmen movie.
Yay! I'm gonna use Infinitehope's actually gonna use his voice. Shred Ninja's too tired to review. Isn't that right, Shred Ninja? Yeah!
All right. Infinitehope and wait, I've lost track of my name. Infinitehope and Victor.
Infinite Victor, maybe.
Junctor.
Okay, so The Watchmen, yes. I just watched this movie last night or the night before.
And I myself saw it in the theater.
Okay, well, maybe the theater experience might have been better. Were people reacting to what was going on at all, or?
Pretty much the same as people would be reacting to anything else in a movie, laughing at a couple of the funny parts. But really, there was no. It wasn't particularly moving. I think Spill.com said it pretty well. I'm paraphrasing when I say that. Basically, it was a competent movie, but it wasn't the Watchmen experience that we remember.
Now, see, I've never read the comic, and I didn't even know it was a comic until all these, people that have read it been like, let's go look at it, and then they, all the comic book fans seem to have a very negative reaction to it. So I'm going in completely fresh of not knowing this, other than it's a comic book hero type movie.
Well, then actually that's cool, because with that perspective, I have to ask, does it stand as a movie? Did you find yourself confused by its setup, or like a lot of people argued that it was made too much like a comic, leaving people who hadn't read it in the dust? Is that true?
No, I was engaged with it, and I was interested in the mystery of who did it. I was truly clueless about who was behind all this until the very end, when I suddenly realized just a little bit before the characters realized who did it, and I think that's a really, really good mystery movie. There are some issues with it, but hopefully that answers that question, whether or not it succeeded as a comic movie. I thought that it did. And it was a mystery-type movie more than anything else to me.
I don't know. I see, and again, it's the whole comic. It's having read the comic. We're pretty used to seeing the calm businessman type English accenty guy be the bad guy. So I don't know. I tend to think that was a tip off for a lot of people, but I was only assuming that they would go that stereotypical route. And you'd probably consider that a false lead if you're just watching it as a movie.
Yeah, I didn't even really consider that. I mean, like I said, for me, the mystery held until the end when it was really obvious what was going on. Like just when like I said, just a little bit before the characters themselves realized who did it, I was like, oh Lord, I can't believe it's that guy. So I was really pleasantly surprised that it was a mystery up until that point. Now, I don't know if they were trying to make a mystery movie. As a hero movie, I think the movie didn't work for me. And that's because these heroes are actually real people, not the typical comic book superheroes that can make no mistake.
Oh no, I agree with that. It was definitely more a mystery than any sort of superhero anything, because I mean, in the book they actually had to expand a lot of the fight scenes in the Watchmen movie, because there was almost nothing in the actual book, and that's kind of the basis of the superhero movie, superhero experience in general. Now it was definitely a mystery, but that was, as a comic book reader, I would give a lot of room for a movie adaptation, because I know that you can't transfer one medium directly to the other. But there was just a very short little bit at the beginning of Watchmen where I keep thinking the Joker, the comedian, died. or was killed, I should say. It was a few panels long. They turned it into a 5-minute fight scene. That was kind of a inauspicious way of starting off the movie.
Well, again, I don't know because I can't look at it from that perspective. And at best, if I went to go read the comic book, I'd probably be approaching that from the standpoint of trying to compare it to the movie. So I probably would think that the comic was going too slow or too fast. But there was a message in this movie, and that message was very, very confusing to me. Maybe the comic addresses that message better than the movie did. I don't really understand what the movie is trying to tell me, because there was a couple of different messages in the movie. The human condition is talked about a lot in the movie, and justice, what we consider just in our society, or what superheroes would approach justice as. And I didn't really get what the movie was trying to tell me. Was it trying to tell me that the ends don't justify the means? Because Rorschach basically died for that concept that the ends don't justify the means, but then he was also killing bad guys. So is it only okay to kill the bad guys and never to kill anybody that might be innocent? I'm really conflicted to what really they were trying to say here.
And I think well, that's part of the movie, and where that's where people get upset. The movie book discrepancies is that, well, I don't actually know if the book would address it any clearer for you, but they did give lip service to pointing out, for the audience, that Night Owl thought that Ozymandias, whatever, his methods are bad. In the comic book, it never really. I mean, he thinks they're bad, but it never comes up in that way. They tried to give it an answer that it didn't end up getting, but it just, as a movie, I guess that was the succeeding point, is that it did make you question, do the ends justify the means? Can you do something horribly evil, and for perhaps a good reason, and count it as a moral victory?
Yeah, it was weird because I realized that the smartest man on the earth did give them the only solution to that problem. They knew that Dr. Manhattan couldn't be everywhere at once, although it was clear that he could be at multiple places at once. We weren't shown what his limitation on his power was. So they couldn't stop the nuclear threat. But that they didn't try any sort of peaceful solution at all, even as superheroes, to go over to their country and be like, okay, look, USSR, we can kick all your all's butts. Do you really want to fire all this stuff on America and kill us? There was no attempt at a peaceful solution at all. I don't know. It wasn't ever even considered. And I think that shows that the only mindset that the superheroes had was violence as an answer to violence, leading to more violence. And the smartest man's conclusion was ultimate violence would lead to peace. But we had already seen that violence couldn't lead to peace, and I think the end was kind of a slap in the face, to be honest, because at the end, the good, whether or not the good was arrived at badly, the good that they did do was ruined by Rorschach's diary being published publicly. So Rorschach's goal in making sure that innocent people didn't get killed was so important to him that he didn't consider that his diary being published would lead to nuclear holocaust, which would kill everybody, not just a few thousand innocent people. So again, here's where I kind of was like, what's going on? What are they trying to tell me here?